What is this place?
Well, damn, you made it to the spot. This is your safe and encouraging place where we are getting down with our healing journey. So if you come from trauma, if you come from domestic violence, if you come from sexual assault and you're listening, that means you are a survivor. And together we get to grow. This is where we ask real questions like, why does this journey feel so damn endless? And more importantly, how do we begin to actually heal? This spot is also for the fellas who are tired of all the toxic BS that is out there and who are ready to find out what the hell real masculinity looks like. And yes, we will also address the most important question on everybody's mind.
Dude, what's that on your face?
So please join me, David Torres, on this path where we stop blaming, where we start healing, and where we start getting answers. This is Walk With Me. Spoiler alert, it's a birthmark. It's just a damn birthmark.
Yo, welcome back to Walk With Me. If you have been here before, I am so glad you are back. If you are new here, this is a space where we talk about healing, where we talk about growth, where we talk about trauma, masculinity, identity, and what it actually looks like to rebuild yourself in real life. Not motivational quote healing. Not here. This is real healing, real life. You know, the messy kind, the kind nobody wants to talk about, but we're going to talk about it, and we're going to make it so that it's not the sad, the bum me out conversation. We're going to talk about things that trauma brings, but then we're going to turn it around, and we're going to talk about some of the things we can do to start healing today. We've been there. You've been there. I've been there. And before we get into it today, guys, I want to be honest with you. I'm going through one of those periods right now, something that I wanted to talk about today. One of those stretches where you find that your mind feels heavy. Your emotions feel all over the place. Your motivation fucking drops. Your anxiety spikes. And you start wondering if any of this work that you bust your ass with day in and day out is even doing anything. And honestly, the first time I ever experienced this during my healing journey, that was the first time. And there's been millions of times afterwards. But the first time, guys, I'll be honest with you, I almost quit. I'm sure I did quit for a period of time. Because I thought to myself, if healing is working, why the hell do I feel like this? Why do I feel so bad? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because lately, I've had those episodes, and I want to define for you what that means. What over time, I've learned what that means, and it's a good thing. Believe it or not, it's a good thing. Today's episode is about something I think people desperately need to understand. Had I known this in the beginning, I may never have wanted to quit. And I know, like, similar to like quitting an addiction, we quit the quit, right? We quit the healing. We've done it over and over again. We thought, fuck it all. This is not working. This is just the way I'm meant to feel for the rest of my life. But there are parts of healing, guys, parts of growth, parts of rebuilding yourself that can mentally and emotionally feel almost as difficult as the pain you're trying to heal from, almost as fucked up as the shit that you went through that you're trying to overcome, that you're trying to move on from. And if nobody warned you about that, it becomes really easy to think this shit isn't working. And I'm hoping by the end of this episode, you will understand why growth feels painful sometimes and what's actually happening psychologically and neurologically. Also hoping you understand why people often want to quit during their transformation because they're not recognizing certain things that are happening. And also why discomfort can actually be proof that change is happening. That's what I want to talk to you about today, because we're all going to go through it. We're all going to go through those days, those weeks, those months where we're just like, this isn't working. I'm not meant to grow. I'm not meant to heal. And I really thought it was important to discuss this, because what you may not know is that this is all happening for a reason. And it's a good reason. Okay? Let's turn this a little bit for a moment. Because right now, we live in a culture that loves showing the result of growth, the end game, the final credits, the glow up, the success story, the transformation, the healed version, or what I like to call the veteran survivor, because healing is never complete, right? But people rarely talk about the middle. And we know this from everywhere in life, right? When you look at the before and after pictures of the man or woman who busted their ass and got in the gym, and now they look the way they want to look in the mirror. You didn't see the in between. Or the actor who is famous now. You didn't see all the shit they went through. Or your favorite band or musician. You didn't see all the shit that they went through in the middle, right? You see the success, and we are obsessed, but we don't want to consider what it took to get there. You know, the part where people feel stuck or emotionally exhausted, overwhelmed, confused. There's a discomfort or a disconnect to life. And often when people are tempted to go backwards, because backwards feels familiar. Social media is a little guilty of selling healing like it's fucking clean. Real growth, my friends, feels like psychological warfare sometimes, especially in the beginning, because becoming someone new requires letting an old version of yourself die. And that process is uncomfortable as hell. And I know you know it. I know it. So let's get into it. Have you ever been improving anything in your life? Whether it's part of your healing journey, or your career, or your physique, or your health overall, but somehow started feeling worse mentally. You know, like you're doing the work, trying to heal, trying to grow, trying to become better, but your mind suddenly feels louder, right? Your anxiety, fucking hit strong. You're fucking exhausted. Yeah? That doesn't always mean you're failing. In fact, sometimes it means something is changing. It's actually a tell for you to know that maybe you're not seeing it, the big picture, or what your goal is right this moment. But it means you are growing. It means you are changing. It means your body is fighting the hell out of all the work that you're doing, because you're doing all the fucking work. The brain, my friend, hates change. I hate to tell you it. It's true. The brain hates change. Let's start with this. Your brain loves familiarity, right? Even when familiarity is unhealthy. That's important. That's why we talk about why we stay in situations that are unhealthy or toxic or dangerous. People assume the brain's priority is happiness. Sorry, it's not. It's not. The brain prioritizes familiarity and survival. So if your nervous system becomes used to chaos, hypervigilance, anxiety, toxic relationships, emotional shutdown, or self-hatred, unhealthy coping mechanisms, those things eventually start to feel normal to the brain. Not healthy, normal. We all know that normal doesn't mean good. Oftentimes, it's stagnant. It's safe. But it doesn't mean healthy. It doesn't mean better. It doesn't mean growth. Let's break it down neuroscience, because you know how neuroscience I am. I'm kidding. I looked this shit up, guys. Research in neuroscience and psychology shows that the brain resists major behavioral and emotional change. It resists it. It doesn't go, yeah, hell yeah, let's do this. Let's do this change thing. The brain likes this. I'm cool with that. And you don't have to know much more about this. I sure as hell don't. Unless, of course, you are studying for neuroscience or something similar, which I am not. But what you need to know is that the brain resists major change. Major change. This is why new neural pathways require energy. Ruh-roh. You feel me? Uncertain activities, stress responses, and familiar emotional patterns feel safer to the nervous system. Even, and get closer here, if those patterns hurt you. That's why healing can initially feel destabilizing, because your system is literally adapting to something unfamiliar, and it doesn't like it. So why does healing feel worse sometimes? Let's talk about it. And I'm going to stress sometimes because it's not always. But let's talk about the emotional side, because this part likes to blindside people. When you stop numbing, okay, when you stop being numb, you start feeling. When you stop distracting yourself, your thoughts get fucking loud. And when you stop surviving, your unresolved pain finally has room to surface. And that, my friends, can feel terrifying. The reality check, y'all. A lot of people think healing means I should feel better immediately. I don't know who thinks that, but a lot of people do. But often, before things can stabilize, you become more aware first. And here's a clue about that. Awareness fucking hurts. It does. Here's another psychological layer to this. Studies on trauma recovery and neuroplasticity show that emotional processing often temporarily increases distress because suppressed emotions begin surfacing. Emotional awareness increases. You start seeing it and noticing it and recognizing it more. Old coping mechanisms, they don't fucking work anymore. And the brain is actively rewiring stress responses. Doesn't know what the fuck to do. This is not what we've done before. This is not how we've handled shit like this before. Discomfort. What does this all mean? Ugh, big words. It means discomfort during healing is often part of the process, not proof that the process is failing. Go ahead and exhale with me. Because fuck, how many times did we think we were broken? How many times did you feel like this shit is never going to end? In fact, it appears to be getting worse. I know you've thought it. Because I've thought it. And it only makes sense. Now that we're starting to unravel or unpeel this, layers and layers of how this whole healing process works, now we can prepare ourselves. Now we don't have to allow those voices in our head to overcome or to decide for us what the next step is. Yes? Quick recap. Healing can feel painful because your brain resists change. Your nervous system craves familiarity. Emotional suppression is ending. And your identity, fuck, I love this one. Your identity is evolving. That discomfort that you feel, that anxiety that you feel, that immense desire to quit does not automatically mean failure. In fact, more often than not, it means you are doing the work. And I love learning this because when you learn that growth hurts, that's great. Because once you understand that growth hurts, you can now understand why not everybody does it. Listen to this outside of healing. Listen to this as professional sports. Now, granted, size has a lot to do with being a professional athlete, right? However, there are millions and millions of people who could have been a professional athlete, a great professional athlete. But when they started to grow, it hurt too much for them. And I'm not knocking them. I'm one of those people. There were certain things in my life that I wanted to accomplish that I didn't, because when the shit got tough, when the changes started happening, I wasn't cut out for it. We all do it. But you know as well as I do, anything that's difficult is worth doing. Anything that challenges you is worth doing. If something is easy, my friends, I hate to break it to you, it's not worth it. It's comfortable, it's easy, it's there, but it does not provide any type of growth for you whatsoever. That's my truth moment. We're moving on. The desire to quit. Let's kind of dive into that a little bit. This is the moment where a lot of people quit, right? Because eventually your brain starts saying, go back to what is comfortable, what's easy. Even if comfortability was fucking destroying you, was killing you. And honestly, man, that temptation is real. To stop trying, to stop healing, to go numb again, to fall back into old habits. Let's isolate. Let's self-sabotage. Something I learned you do when you're in that comfortability zone. You don't even know you're fucking doing it sometimes. But when you're in that comfortable, safe, easy space, it becomes a lot easier to just let the shit hit the fan and not worry about it. Just be comfortable. The transformation feels uncertain. Uncertainty feels unsafe to the nervous system. Let's go. Do you understand what I'm telling you right now? This shit is hard because it works. If it was easy, trauma wouldn't exist, right? You get into a bad relationship or you get assaulted and the next day you're just like, I'm healed, right? We wouldn't have issues. We wouldn't have therapists. But it's difficult because you're changing from the inside out. And that, my friends, is not something to joke around about. It's important. It's necessary. And that's why I'm always encouraging you to do the fucking work. And when I get comments like, this really helped me today, you changed my day, bullshit. You changed your fucking day. I may have showed you a door that you've never seen before, but you're the one who fucking opened it and walked through it. Okay? That's the difficult part. What I'm doing, what I'm talking to you, this is the easy part. Following through it, it's hard. And let me be clear here. I'm not one telling you that I've done all of this. I've graduated, folks. Listen to me. No, I'm still doing this stuff. I'm still a part of that journey because the journey never ends. I'm doing this with you. Hence the fucking name, Walk With Me. It's pretty clear. Okay? So please don't ever think that I'm trying to talk to you from a pedestal. A lot of you have a lot to teach me. And I've learned some things from you. That's why I'm always like, interact with my ass. I got shit to learn. I love to hear of new ways, of new things you can do. Sorry, I ranted. Here's a personal layer. Every single time I pushed through one of those moments in the past, those moments of uncertainty, those moments of wanting to quit, eventually clarity did come because of gratitude, because of growth. And when I realized this hurts because something is changing, it absolutely redefined the game. Because I almost start to look forward to that anxiousness, that my brain is overthinking things, because it makes me believe that I've just taken another step up, another step forward, another goal has been met or is being met as we speak. And I hate saying that I look forward to these times, but once you get to the point where you understand this well enough, believe it or not, you do. You start feeling these things come up and go, shit's happening. I'm making moves. And it allows you to heal from that moment of wanting to quit much faster. Okay? Not because nothing is happening. And if nothing else helps you cope with these moments of fear, uncertainty, and the desire to quit, use that. Tell yourself, I feel like this because I am doing the right things. Because things are changing and I have to work through my nervous system right now. Let's talk about other ways to deal with these episodes. What do we do during these periods? How do we survive the growth phase? Because it's not easy. Let's talk about 5 things that we can start doing, that we can start working on right now that can help us get through some of these episodes, is what I like to, these periods of time where uncertainty overwhelms you. Okay. Number 1, stop interpreting discomfort as failure. That's the first thing you got to tell yourself. This is huge. Not every painful moment means you're doing something wrong. You're overcritical of yourself. You can throw that in there. I do it all the time. I feel like I haven't accomplished anything in a day. And my wife is like, bro, you did this, and this. Stop fucking complaining about shit that you can't control. Time. You did a lot. So we're going to automatically assume we're being inefficient or we have failed at something. Got to stop doing that. Sometimes it's just your nervous system adapting. Yeah? Ask yourself, is this pain harming me or stretching me, pushing me, asking me, can you handle this? Those are 2 different things. Okay? So it's important that you ask yourself those things, that you ask yourself that and really dive into the answer. Okay. Number 2, I want you to really try to stay connected to safe people. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't have a big network of people that I have access to for these things. I have less than a handful of people that I feel truly safe around. Okay. But I have those people. And the reason I say it's important is because healing in isolation, that shit gets dangerous. Because you don't have somebody that's safe telling you, this is okay. I'm here. Feel your feels. But know at the end of the day, we're getting back to work. Because when you're alone, your mind gets louder and louder. And if you're alone for too long, you end up succumbing to it. Safe people help you regulate the perspective, right? They remind you why you're doing this, why you started doing this. And they also can tell you what's changed, what you've already accomplished to this point. And they let you know the person you're becoming. That's huge. If you only have that one person, that's enough. Surround yourself with that person, especially during these times. Trust that person. Don't feel like you are bothering them, that you're a nuisance, because they're there for a reason. You have to trust that. Yes, we're going to number 3. Normalize these cycles. We talked about it earlier. I look forward to them sometimes. If I don't feel any anxiety or any type of discomfort for a good amount of time, That's when I start feeling like I've become stagnant. Healing isn't linear. We fucking know this. We've said it a million times. You will have strong weeks. Hell to the yes. But you will have weak days and weeks. You'll have grounded moments. You'll have emotionally messy moments. That does not erase your progress. It doesn't set you back. It's part of it. It's part of this fucking journey that at times feels fucked up, but is necessary. Gotta go through that mud sometimes. You gotta go through that storm. You can't turn around because you're losing steps when you turn around. Okay? Number 4, build small daily stability. When your emotions feel chaotic, focus small. Bring it down. Okay? Sleep, water, movement, walking, routines, small ones, journaling. Get the fuck outside. I will tell you something. This whole Superman business that I know you've watched the Superman movie. Everyone has watched a Superman movie, but if you haven't, Superman draws his strength from the sun. I hate to tell you this, we're all fucking Superman. We all draw strength from the sun. Okay, get your ass outside. And if you live in a place that doesn't have like a lot of sun, like if you're in twilight or something, you need to take a road trip or something, okay? But get outside. Eating consistently at the same times. Don't go 17 hours without eating, right? Rewatch that saved video that spoke to you last time. All of us have him. I've got a fucking library full of videos that I watch. Bunch of them. Those videos remind you that it hurts because you're working. And the work that you're doing is not fucking easy. But you're doing the work. This is proof. But the small stability creates nervous system safety. Focus on the small shit. And then number 5, I need you to get close for this because this one fucking matters. Remember why this hurts. This is last, but it certainly is not least. You are not changing habits. You are changing your identity. And identity change feels uncomfortable because your old self is no longer fully fitting. But your new self doesn't quite feel natural yet either. You're in the middle space. That's where growth lives. Remember that. Remember why this is happening. All right, let's bring it down a little bit. If you're in one of those seasons right now, I need you to really hear me. You're not failing because this feels hard. You're not weak because your mind feels tired. You're certainly not broken because healing feels uncomfortable. And you consider just quitting. That doesn't make you broken. It doesn't make you weak. You're growing, my people. And growth is uncomfortable as shit. But you know what else it is? It's beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. Like you, right? That's real. That's the truth. And I don't ever want you to forget that. You have to give yourself credit. You have to give yourself a little bit of leniency sometimes to go, I'm going to go into my fucking bedroom and sleep for 10 hours. The only thing I don't want you to do is feel like you have misstepped, that you have failed, that it's time to quit, because it's not. When this shit happens, when these seasons come upon you, rejoice. Because it means you're fucking working. And the work that you're doing is working. Yes? All right, let's move on. The challenge this week, the next time you have one of those moments where you feel stuck or exhausted, you're overwhelmed, or even tempted to quit, guys, I just want you to pause for a moment. I say that a lot. I use that a lot because I pause a lot. If you could see, like when I'm making these videos, the parts I have to edit most are the pauses, because I start getting a little riled up and then I just pause and I look at the fucking camera for like 45 seconds. And then when I'm editing, it's just like you know, the vocals of it is just, it's dead for like 45 seconds. I'm like, Jesus, I'm just pausing for no reason. Anyways, I want you to pause. And instead of immediately saying, maybe this isn't working, I want you to start training yourself to say things like, what if this discomfort is part of the process? Write that question down somewhere so you don't forget it. What if this discomfort is part of the process? Because perspective, my friends, it changes endurance. I really would love for you to do this. Tell me about it. But if you skip this, nothing changes. All right, we are at the fashion tie-in portion. I'm going to bring something a little bit tangible today, because one of the things that I've learned during difficult seasons of healing is that sometimes your mind and body don't get the memo. They don't get the memo at the same time. Your mind knows you're growing. Your mind knows you're healing. Your mind knows you're becoming someone new. But your emotions, they have not received the memo. Your emotions may still be having a complete meltdown. And honestly, that's where a lot of people quit, because they assume if it feels this bad, then nothing must be changing. But that's not always true. I recently came across an article, which I will link in the show notes and description, discussing how fashion can support mental health during periods of depression, because that's what this is a part of. When we're feeling this way, we are anxious, we are depressed. But what struck me wasn't the clothing itself portion of it. It was the principle underneath it. Listen to this. Sometimes we must intentionally engage in behaviors that remind us who we are when our emotions temporarily forget, because they do. That fucking matters. Think about it. When people are struggling emotionally, one of the first things that often disappears is intentionality. We stop caring how we dress. We stop caring how we present ourselves. Fuck it all. I don't care. We stop caring about the routines that normally help us feel grounded. Not because we're lazy, because we hurt, because we're hurting. There is a power in small acts of self-respect. Putting on clothes that make you feel like yourself. Getting dressed even when you don't feel like it. Choosing something intentional, even when your brain is telling you nothing matters. Because sometimes fashion isn't about impressing people. In fact, for me, it never is about impressing. It's just a coincidence that sometimes I impress people. I'm kidding. Sometimes it's about reminding yourself, I'm still here. I'm still growing. I'm still becoming. I'm not staying in this place forever. Man, honestly, I think that's what signature style really is. It's not about a trend. It's not about a brand. It's not about a look. It's a relationship with yourself. Because there are days when healing feels absolutely amazing. And there are days when healing feels fucking awful. But both days deserve the same reminder. You are not the worst thing you're feeling today. You're not. You are not the anxiety. You are not the fear. You are definitely not the self-doubt. You are the person who continuously shows up despite all of it. And sometimes Something as simple as the clothes you choose to put on can remind you of that. Yes, not because fashion changes who you are, because it can help reconnect you with who you're becoming. Let's go. I love that. If this episode hit you emotionally, good, because this is the part of healing people rarely talk about. The messy middle, right? The uncomfortable growth, the psychological battle between who you were and who you're becoming. But I promise you, oh my God, just because this hurts sometimes does not mean you're headed in the wrong direction. In fact, it means the opposite. Let's get personal here for a minute because, like I said before, I'm going through something like that right now. And I think it's important to share. I really do. One of the things nobody tells you about healing, growth, or rebuilding your life is that there are seasons where it feels almost as bad as when you were in the middle of that storm. The anxiety, mentally, emotionally, sometimes even physically, it tears you down. There are moments on this journey where anxiety gets so loud, where sleep becomes an impossible task, where your thoughts turn negative, where everything in your life suddenly feels heavier than it did a week ago, sometimes a day ago. It builds. And if you've ever experienced that, something I just experienced again, you know exactly what I'm talking. I remember the first time I felt it. I told you, it was a great excuse for me to quit. Go back to old habits, and I did. I've done it before. I've quit progress. I've told myself this isn't working. I'm not getting better. This is who the fuck I am. What's the point? Because when you're in that moment, it doesn't feel like growth. It feels like you failed over and over again. Thankfully, I've had people around me and I've come across reminders, like I told you about, that helped me understand what was really happening. Growth disrupts things. Healing disrupts things. Change disrupts fucking everything. More times than not, your mind and body react to that disruption. Not because something is wrong, because something is changing. That matters. I'm not saying every difficult emotion is proof you're growing. Sometimes we need help. Sometimes we need support. Sometimes we need therapy, rest, or connection. But what I am saying is that many of us mistake discomfort for failure. They're not the same thing. Growth hurts. Like I said before, that's why not everybody does it. Growth asks you to leave familiar version of yourself. Growth asks you to challenge old beliefs. Growth asks you to stop running from things you've spent years avoiding. And sometimes your mind fights, I don't want to do this. This is uncomfy. Sometimes your nervous system fights back along with it. And when your nervous system and your mind work together, you can get your ass kicked pretty easily. Sometimes every part of you wants to retreat to something familiar, even when familiar was unsafe, wasn't healthy. Do you hear me? I hate those moments. I really do. Because when you're in them, they feel awful. They're debilitating. But when I'm reminded of what's actually happening, slowly, but more often than not, something shifts. I move from the frustration pile to the gratitude pile. Because I realize, oh, this is part of the process. This doesn't mean I'm broken. Hooray! It doesn't mean I'm failing. This doesn't mean that the work isn't working. It might actually mean the fucking opposite. I say all the time that healing isn't a destination, right? We're agreed to that. You're not going towards the finish line. There is no finish line. You're never done doing the work. You're never done growing. But every now and then, life reminds me that I have to listen to my own advice. Easier said than done. But if you're in one of those seasons right now, if you're anxious or exhausted, or you're questioning yourself, or if you're wondering whether any of this is working at all, I need you to hear me. Do not confuse discomfort with failure. Once again, do not confuse struggle with stagnation. And do not assume that because it feels hard, you're moving in the wrong direction. If it doesn't feel hard, you're moving in the wrong direction. The moments that make you want to quit are actually the moments proving that change is actually happening. The test is the growth. The discomfort, evidence. Sometimes the resistance is the sign. It's the sign that you're becoming somebody new. So keep going. Keep doing the work. Keep fucking showing up. Because the person you're trying to become is built in moments exactly like these. And if you're walking through one right now, walk through it. Don't stop. Don't retreat. Press the gas pedal a little harder. Because this might be the exact moment your next level is being built. Let's fucking go. Today, we talked about why healing can feel emotionally exhausting, how the brain resists change, why growth creates discomfort, and why people often want to quit during transformation. But most importantly, we talked about this. Pain during growth is not always proof that you're failing. It's proof that something is finally changing. Growth hurts. And that's exactly why not everybody does it. Yes, but you're still here. You're still here, and that matters. Because progress is the point. Yes? Until then, please take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the path.
Hey y'all, thanks for walking with me today. If something in this episode resonated with you, you can find resources, support organizations, and additional information at walkwithmepod.com. Whether you're seeking help for yourself or someone you care about, those resources are there for you. You can also connect with me on social media. All of the links are in the show notes and on the website. I always welcome your reflections, questions, and stories. And with your permission, some may even help guide future episodes as this community continues to grow. If you believe in what we're building here, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast. It truly helps this message reach more people who may need it. And if someone came in mind while you were listening today, consider sharing this episode with them. Sometimes a single conversation can open the door to healing. Until next time, keep moving forward, one step at a time. Psst, this part is super important, my friends. I want to be very clear about something. I am not a licensed therapist, a counselor, a psychologist, or a medical professional. The content shared on Walk With Me is based on personal experience, research, education, and lived perspective, not professional or clinical advice. This podcast is intended for educational, reflective, and community-based conversation only. It is not a substitute for professional mental health care, medical treatment, legal advice, or crisis intervention. If you are in immediate danger, experiencing a crisis, or need professional support, please contact emergency services or a licensed mental health professional or a trusted support organization right away. Resources and hotlines are listed in the show notes and on walkwithmepod.com. Listening to or participating in this podcast does not establish my therapeutic, professional, or client relationship between you and I. My goal here is to open conversations, challenge harmful patterns, and offer insight and hope. But your safety, healing, and care deserve qualified, professional support when needed. Please take care of yourself